Alright, so... Terraforming can change many things, but it cannot fix low gravity. Geyser was settled in the very first wave of space colonization, before refueling depots were available anywhere but Earth itself, so the only systems that could maintain trade with Earth were those that were only a few jumps away. Today, most of the industry centers around oil drilling and manufacturing, and the remaining workers are those who are too poor to leave. In recent years, Geyser's economy has not been able to support repairs to the centuries-old terraforming equipment, and as a result, the climate has become increasingly arid, and it is difficult to grow fruit crops here. Okay. Negative profit on all the stuff I've got. Wonderful. See ya. I forgot that I was still jumping. Okay. So, can't get there from here. And land on that same desolate, terrible... Oh wait, this looks like a different desolate, terrible place. Nope, it's the same desolate, terrible place. Bye! And jump. I thought that said sinus for a second. Okay. If it's uninhabited, I jump back. If it's not, I jump. Okay, it's uninhabited. As a borderline habitable planet in one of the systems neighboring Sol, Relic was colonized hundreds of years ago in the early years of the space race. Because of its low gravity and limited natural resources, only a few minor settlements are left. Okay, so... can't make any decent profit. Why am I being scanned? Niger, don't scan me. Oh right, I still have another jump to go. Oh, Pollux, and I'm guessing that's Castor. Because they're really freaking close. Pow! Hey! Land. Boop. As you are piloting your ship down to land on Hestia, James disappears into his bunk room. After the ship has landed, he comes out no longer in the grease-stained coveralls he's been wearing up till now, but in a suit. As a lifelong textile worker, you automatically note that the suit is made of real wool, very finely woven, and that it has been tailored to fit him. He smooths down the front of the suit distractedly and then looks at his hands as if unsure of where to put them. "How do I look?" he asks. Oh, like a millionaire. "Well, that's the other thing about being a captain," he says. "You can get filthy rich." There's an awkward pause. I'm unsure of how to respond. You're unsure of how to respond. I'm gonna just read all of it as you instead of I from now on. Just cause, yeah. I just now noticed that I've been mixing those. So, I'm gonna be consistent from now on. Thing is, this here planet is one of the most exclusive retirement communities in the galaxy. Plenty of locals are probably worth more than 1 billion credits, but they're mostly financial business types, old money. I'm rich enough to be here, but I just hope they're willing to socialize with someone who made his fortune flying a ship. He hands you a credit chip worth 30 grand and says, "Best of luck to you, Captain. Don't hesitate to look me up if you're ever in the area." In the distant past, Hestia was a nearly lifeless ice world. It is now a subtropical paradise, one of the greatest victories from the heyday of planetary engineering, back when the galactic economy had more money to spare for terraform. Today, it is mostly a retirement community for those who can afford it. Although most of the population consists of young service workers in rented housing who take care of the retirees. On Hestia, the poor live in cities. The rich live in country estates. Aside from the urban centers, most of this world is covered in rolling green hills and oceans. Come on, that's not paradise, man. That's not... no. It's no. No. That isn't paradise. Let's see. Wow, that's a lot of profit. Okay, so I've made some profit on the medical supplies. Hestia has 2 separate spaceports. The port where rich residents and their visitors arrive and depart is private, owned by a local company. Here in the public spaceport, no attempt has been made at an impressive architecture. Everything is spare, utilitarian, with floors of bare cement. There are a few trucks and forklifts carrying cargo, but the streets that connect the landing pads are mostly full of people on foot, walking toward the customs building. Well, might as well check out Castor, then Pollux. Let's see what there is here. Geminus. Thrall and Martini! That's probably like a bar world. Bar world, wow. Just like a world where like the seas are alcohol. Geminus, although not the most hospitable of planets, is a young enough planet that large stores of iron, titanium, and other metals are easily accessible near the surface. For that reason, it has become one of the Republic's primary shipyards. Ooh. More than half of the warships in the Navy were constructed here. The constant volcanic activity leaves the planet perpetually shrouded in clouds of ash and fog, so that being outside means being in a twilight haze with low visibility. Probably in compensation for this, interior spaces tend to be brightly lit and painted in bold colors. Alright then, I'll just make myself a bit of profit. I'll buy a bit of metal. Look at the job board. I don't have 68 friggin' tons. Sure. Alright. Done. Leave. Okay, missions. Okay. Missions. I think I'll land on Mars. What? I said Mars. Okay, fine, Luna. Don't see why I won't land on the moon. In the early days of space travel, back when engines were still so inefficient that escaping from a planet's gravity was costly and difficult, an enormous shipyard was built on the moon where asteroids, harvested from the asteroid belt, were mined for raw materials for ships. But the asteroid belt, is fine. The facility is still in operation, although it is now overshadowed by far more advanced shipbuilding centers like Geminus and the Castor system. Right? The spaceport is rudimentary, and the main pressurized dome of the facility is probably at least half a millennium old. So many metal foil patches have been cemented to its outer wall to stop slow air leaks that in places they entirely cover the surface. Everything is so ancient and ramshackle that it almost feels like you have stepped back in time to the early days of human spaceflight. Perhaps that's what the tourists come here to experience. Right, so it's not uninhabited. That's nice to know. New Austria! Velzen! New Austria is a rugged mountain world full of snow-capped peaks and valleys so deep and so steep that they rarely see sunlight. The few settlements that have been built here were developed for mining sapphires and rubies. The sapphires found in New Austria range from blue to yellow to black to clear in color, and are used for both industrial abrasives and for jewelry. For centuries, the locals have been trying to find a deposit of diamonds which would sell for much higher prices than sapphires. And local folklore revolves around the prosperity that would come to this world if diamonds were ever discovered. Okay, nothing's very low. No thanks. Oh, luxury goods. Oh right, delivery to New China. Okay, might as well. Why am I being followed? That's a big friggin' ship. Nope, can't do. I just realized I'm not doing much talking. The thing is, this isn't like a really narrative-friendly game unless I have stuff to yak about. Mars was humanity's first attempt at terraforming. Although it remains a dry, cold desert, the air is now breathable without an oxygen tank, and there are sections of the planet where a fair number of plants can grow. Because far more hospitable planets are available to those with enough money to pay for interstellar travel, the farms and ranches of Mars are run mostly by poorer Earth families who want to escape the pollution and congestion, along with some young adults who do farm work to help finance their once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to stand on another world. The spaceport on Mars is situated next to the northern polar basin, one of the few places where, post-terraforming, a natural lake exists. Here, far more trees grow than elsewhere on the planet, and in the few warm months where the lake is not frozen, Mars almost looks like a friendly place. That's the thing, though. Mars, it used to be Earth, basically. It used to be the same as Earth. Except it isn't anymore, because, it's molten core solidified, meaning no more plate tectonics, and also no more radiation protection from the magnetic fields. So, yeah. Okay, job board. Nope, no rush deliveries. No, that's the wrong button. Right. I forgot to read either bit of the description of that. Whoops. Alright, let's make ourselves some jumps. This is a really Dutch game to be playing, actually. For an American game, it's pretty Dutch. At least the way I'm playing it. I mean, I could have rolled with the interceptor at the beginning. But instead I'm sort of taking a, no, please don't shoot me, I will pay you approach. Which, well. That's how the Brits ended up with New York, formerly known as New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam. Oh, I'm here. Didn't realize that. The Navy's mission is to guard and serve you. The Navy is here to guard and serve you. I get it, Earl. Jeez, I really overshot. How long was I talking? Obviously quite a while. The spaceport is nothing but a couple of landing pads built on the outskirts of one of the larger mining villages, high up on a mountain ridge that allow for easy access for starships. A few roads lead down from there to the village, where you can trade for local goods or get food from the miners' cafeteria. By the time you have walked to the center of town, several people have already tried to sell you large diamonds that you strongly suspect are just their sapphires. 11 tons of silver spoons, 17 tons, oh, that's a rush to it. Fine. Spoons.